Okay, I'm back. Part 3, my DVD collection. I'm gonna finish showing it. I was interrupted at the end of my last video by a member of my household that lives with me. So I apologize for that. I got angry and the video cut off. I got probably 25 DVDs left to go through. I'll try to make it quick. The last video was 40 minutes. I don't want this one to even be 20 minutes. Next DVD, XWF, 3 discs. 3-disc set of DVDs. Marty Jannetty is on this show. Jerry Lawler and Tony Schiavone were on the commentary for this show. It happened, or it was taped in 2001, I believe. Hulk Hogan, obviously on the cover. It's called In Your Face Wrestling, XWF. They tried getting a TV deal. They never did get a TV deal. It didn't work out. A lot of old names on here that worked for WCW. A lot of old guys that were Hogan's friends. Nasty Boys are on here. Greg Valentine is on here. Johnny B. Bad is on here. Curt Hennig was on here with Bobby the Brain Heenan as his agent. Buff Bagwell is on here. A lot of AJ Styles was on here before NWA TNA, before ROH. AJ Styles was in XWF versus Kid Cash in a Cruiserweight Championship match. XWF never got off the ground and did anything, but it's entertaining to watch. I ordered it back in 2002 because I'm a big wrestling fan. Next DVD, XPW Freefall. This is what I think of this DVD. It can free fall. It's crap. Next one, Hardcore Homecoming, ECW Reunion show from 2005 of June. Happened 2 days before ECW One Night Stand 2005 that the WWE put on. It's a great DVD. It's 2 discs. Joey Styles and Cyrus call the action. Shane Douglas ran it and booked it. He was in control of this show. He was at the ECW Arena. It's a great show. Brought back a lot of great memories. That's why I bought it. And it's a good DVD to pick up. Or if you've seen it, you know that already. Shoot interview with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. It's entertaining. Hacksaw, big fan of his. I respect him. Big star in the 80s. First Royal Rumble winner, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Won it in 1988. Next DVD, WSU, Women's Company, out of New Jersey, in the New York area. Breaking Barriers 2. Melina's on this show. Havoc is on this show. A lot of females are on here. Serena Deep is on this show. She was part of CM Punk's Straight Edge Society, the chick that had her head shaved bald by CM Punk on SmackDown. She's on here. There's a War Games match. It's the main event. Team WSU versus the Midwest Militia. It's an entertaining show. Indie show, but entertaining. DVD. XPW, another worthless DVD I have not watched since the day I bought it over 12 years ago. Blown to Hell. That DVD can go straight to hell because it sucks balls. and I probably will never watch it again. And I would sell it to anybody for 1 penny. Documentary, Heroes of World Class Championship Wrestling. Great documentary on WCCW out of Texas. The Von Erich story. Very tragic. Very tragic. Very sad and depressing what happened to the Von Erichs, folks. Very sad. David Von Erich died by an accident. He had the stomach pains or a stomach virus when he was in Japan. Came back to Texas and passed away. 3 of the brothers, I believe 3 Von Erichs, committed suicide. That's very depressing and just a tragedy. The Von Erich family, what happened with the Von Erichs is an all-around tragedy and very sad. But it's a great documentary on World Class Championship Wrestling. Great story. A lot of sad stories in that DVD. Gino Hernandez, young guy, young superstar, had the looks, had the body, could work in the ring, could cut great promos. If Gino Hernandez would have been hired by Vince, 1986 or 87, he would have been a huge star in the WWF, but he passed away, I believe, from an overdose of cocaine. Very sad. Chris Adams was in WCCW. I believe he committed suicide. I believe. He either committed suicide or someone murdered him. I'm not sure. Another Smoky Mountain Wrestling DVD. All these matches are from Smoky Mountain Wrestling. It's called Bloods, Brawls, and Grudges. Terry Funk's on here. Rock and Roll Express and Macho Man Randy Savage are on here in a 6-man tag against Brian Lee, Chris Candido, and Bruiser Bedlam. Kane is on here versus Ricky Morton. Jim Cornette versus a midget is on here. Bob Eaton and Sweet Stan, Midnight Express, and Tom Pritchard and the Heavenly Bodies versus the Rock and Roll Express and Arn Anderson is on here. Great tag match. Entertaining Smoky Mountain Wrestling DVD. WSU Women's Indie Company. This is the history of the Spirit Championship in WSU. I'm not even sure if WSU is still in business. I haven't followed them in over 2 years. I'm sure they ran a show 2 years ago. I heard about it on Twitter that they were still running shows. This is one of the last DVDs I bought from them. It's an entertaining DVD. A lot of the matches aren't very good from the ladies, but there's a lot of 4 or 5 talented women that are in this DVD. Alicia is in here. She's talented. Brittany Savage, very talented. Sassy Stephanie, very talented. That's the only names from WSU I really know. And AJ Lee worked there for a short time before WWE signed her. XPW DVD on this whore, this slut, Lizzie Borden. Best of Lizzie Borden DVD. I believe her and her husband, I know they're in the porn business, and they started XPW, and she was a god-awful manager. She's pretty. She's decent looking, but she shouldn't have ever been in the wrestling business. Or her husband, Rob Black, should have never ever been in the wrestling business. But she was in it, and I got her DVD. I bought it on Amazon. It was $8. That's why I bought it. WWE Judgment Day 2005. Cena versus JBL was the main event in a First Blood, not First Blood, I Quit match. JBL versus Cena, WWE title. Cena's first pay-per-view as champ 10 years ago. He's still on top, but he's U.S. champion. He's still the #1 guy in the WWE. He's still the face. He's still the #1 draw. Cena is still #1 in merchandise. Like it or not, he's still the face of the company. But I'm really happy that Seth Rollins is the man now and is the champion now. And I hope and I pray that they let Seth Rollins run and make an impact with that title, and that the company gets behind Seth Rollins because he deserves it. He's from ROH. Tyler Black, he worked his ass off when he was in the Shield. He was the highlight of the Shield. Him and Dean Ambrose, top guys in the Shield. Seth Rollins, great champion. All I've got to say is I hope WWE lets Seth Rollins run, give him the ball, and score touchdowns over and over and over with it. And I hope he has a long title reign. I'm guessing he'll probably lose at SummerSlam. But if he doesn't, that's better. I don't think Rollins should lose at SummerSlam. Should hold it till WrestleMania 32, in my opinion, and lose it back to Brock. Or back to, I don't know who. But I think Seth Rollins should hold the WWE World Heavyweight Championship until WrestleMania 32. That would be best for business. If he loses it at SummerSlam this year, I'm fine with that, but I don't agree with him losing it within the next 4 months. TNA DVD, Best of the Bloodiest Brawls, Scars and Stitches. Barbed wire matches on here with Abyss and Judas Macias in a barbed wire match. That's sick and very hardcore. I love that hardcore stuff. I don't love garbage wrestling, but I do love hardcore matches. I love ECW. I love their barbed wire matches. They weren't out of control with light tubes breaking light bulbs over their head. ECW, they weren't cutting each other with weed whackers and freaking head trimmers. They weren't cutting themselves with scissors in the ring and using weed whackers on each other. I don't agree with that kind of wrestling. Bringing a freaking grass trimmer that you cut your grass with, a trimmer, edge trimmer, has a motor on it. I don't agree with using that in a wrestling match. That's not hardcore wrestling, that's garbage wrestling. ECW did hardcore wrestling right. And TNA, on this DVD, Best of the Bloodiest Brawls, did it right. Hardcore matches. AJ Christopher Daniels versus LAX is on here. 6 Sides of Steel from Bound for Glory 2005. 2006 Bound for Glory. Sting, AJ, R-Truth, Rhino in Lethal Lockdown 2006 versus Jeff Jarrett. Scott Steiner in America's Most Wanted is on here. Sting versus Abyss, Last Rites match. I don't remember that match, but Sting and Abyss did have one very good pay-per-view match when Sting was NWA champion. And Sting got choke slammed on thumbtacks. That was awesome. That was cool. I'm gonna go by quick and not talk much about these DVDs because I'm going on too long and babbling on, and I don't want it to go on too long. I sound like a fucking idiot that doesn't know when to end his video. Shoot interview with Vader. Vader's great. He should be a Hall of Famer. I hope he gets in the Hall of Fame next year. I'm a big fan of Vader. One of the best big men in the business ever. Forever Hardcore documentary about ECW. Shane Douglas put it on. Guys are in here that did not talk on the ECW Rise and Fall of ECW DVD. The guys are on here that did not talk on that DVD. Sabu is on here. Raven, Sandman, Conan, a lot of guys. Shane Douglas, Francine is on here. Joey Styles is on here talking. It's a great DVD if you're a fan of ECW. Shoot interview with Sunny, Tammy Lynn Sitch. She has fallen so far since 19 years ago. In 1996, she was smoking hot. She was so freaking gorgeous. She was super hot. I was 12 years old in 96. Sunny was my first crush. I freaking hit puberty because of Sunny. She's, can't believe she's a Hall of Famer. And she went on a webcam and she's having pathetic losers pay her on Skype or on a webcam to get naked. That's depressing, and that's sad, and that's pathetic. That Sunny was a Hall of Famer. And I'm not saying the WWE Hall of Fame is the greatest Hall of Fame there is, because it's not. There is a real wrestling Hall of Fame, and it has nothing to do with WWE. Lou Thesz is in it. A lot of guys are in it. But Sunny is still a WWE Hall of Famer. And what she's doing nowadays, how far she's fallen, is really sad and depressing and pathetic. What she has done online, that's pathetic. Shoot interview, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They should be in the Hall of Fame. They should be in the Hall of Fame right now already, but they're not. Demolition, one of the greatest teams of all time, one of my favorite tag teams of all time, along with the Road Warriors and the Dudleys and the Hardys. Demolition, legends, 3-time WWF Tag Team Champions, won the titles at WrestleMania 4, won them at WrestleMania 6. I love the guys. Demolition should be in the Hall of Fame. WWE put Demolition in the Hall of Fame for 2016, damn it. Oh crap. A bunch of DVDs fell over. Oh well. Shoot interview with the Masked Superstar. If you fans out there, you younger fans don't know who the Masked Superstar is, he was Axe of Demolition. The Masked Superstar. Later on, after this gimmick, he was also part of the Machines in the WWF in 1986. He was the Super Machine, or maybe he was called the Big Machine. He wasn't the Giant Machine, because the Giant Machine was Andre the Giant. That was the Giant Machine. So he was the Super Machine, or he was the Big Machine. But he was also the Masked Superstar. Legendary guy in his business. He was also Demolition Axe. He's a legend. He should be in the Hall of Fame, and I hope he gets in. The Giant Machine, Andre the Giant. I'll just have a little comment about Andre and me watching old Tuesday Night Titans on the WWE Network. Man, that always cracked me up every time. John Studd, Big John Studd, with Bobby Heenan came on WWF TV in 85, 84, 86, and they were feuding with Andre. They always came on and they called him Andrea, Big John Studd, over and over. So Vince McMahon said, "Oh, you're talking about Andrea? He's not. His name isn't Andre. You're talking about Andrea. I cut Andrea's hair." I always thought that was funny as hell. Big John Studd called Andre the Giant Andrea. Bobby Heenan, one of a kind. One of the greatest managers of all time. One of the best ever. And one of the best ever at commentary also. With Gorilla Monsoon. My voice is getting fucking sore. Next, shoot interview with Scott Hall, the bad guy, Razor Ramon Chico. Razor, Scott Hall, all-time great, part of the NWO. Razor Ramon gimmick was awesome. Love the guy. Hope he's doing well. Hope he's healthy. Hope he's sober. Hope he's clean. Number one. That's the most important thing. I don't want to see Scott Hall and Jake the Snake pass away. And I hope other wrestling fans should never want to see any wrestler over 50 and 60 pass away because of drug or alcohol abuse. I hope Scott Hall's doing well. And I love the guy. It's part of my childhood. ROH shoot interview with ECW's Queen of Extreme, Francine. I was a big Francine fan. She's a great manager. She's a future Hall of Famer in my opinion. She's great. Shoot interview with Jesse the Body Ventura. He was great on commentary. He's funny as hell in the 80s. He cracks me up on the WWE Network when I hear some of the stuff that he would say back to Gorilla Monsoon, or just stuff he'd say to piss off Vince McMahon on Saturday night's Main Event on the WWE Network, and all the pay-per-views he did with Gorilla. He was great. He was an awesome commentator in the 80s. He was great. Tracy Brooks, former TNA Knockout. This is her shoot interview. She's great. She's hot. She's smoking. She has a great body. And I'm a big fan of hers. I hope she's doing well wherever she is and whatever she's doing. Out of the business. ROH. Better Than You. The best of CM Punk. I was very angry with CM Punk last year when he didn't return. And I'm sure he told the truth on the podcast with Colt Cabana that he wanted to return and WWE wouldn't call him and wouldn't let him. I was very angry with Punk. Not angry with the man anymore. I don't hate the man. CM Punk has me blocked on Twitter. I don't know why. I never said a bad word about the guy. I might have tweeted him that he's a fucking loser. Maybe. And I apologize for that. I don't hate the guy. And I don't like him being in UFC. I mean, it's good for UFC's business because he's a pay-per-view draw. He'll bring in a lot of pay-per-view buys from a lot of wrestling fans. You're going to want to see CM Punk fight, and he has a huge fan base. And I respect that. And he's straight edge, and I respect that because I'm straight edge for life. So, Punk, good luck in UFC, but I don't think you're going to win your first fight. He was great in ROH, and he had a great run as WWE champion. One of the longest runs as champion in over 25 years. I respect CM Punk, but I don't like him talking bad about the wrestling business, bashing it in interviews all the time, saying everybody in the wrestling business Every booker, everybody involved is bipolar. It's one of the dumbest businesses. It's fake. He's calling it fake over and over. In every interview he does with any website, any sports website, he always is bashing wrestling now. And that's stupid, and that's wrong. Wrestling made him a huge star, made him millions of dollars, made him super rich. He met his wife through wrestling in the WWE. WWE made him a star. He helped WWE also. He was a huge draw for WWE. Sold a lot of t-shirts, and he has a lot of WWE fans, and he has a lot of marks that still like him. And that's all good. And I'm done talking about CM Punk. The only thing I don't like is him bashing pro wrestling in interviews. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. And don't talk about wrestling. Say I have no comments about pro wrestling. You don't gotta bash it in interviews, you dumb bastard. And CM Punk will return to pro wrestling within 5 or 10 years. I guarantee you, he will be back in 5 or 10 years. Or 3 years from now, he'll be back. He'll be back just like Brock Lesnar came back. Because WWE threw $5 million at Brock Lesnar. $5 million a year for less than 20 dates. Brock shows up less than probably 10 times a year, and he's getting paid $5 million. CM Punk got a part-time deal. In 2 or 3 years, he'll be back. Trust me. If he's not back in WWE in 5 or 10 years, then he'll show up at a ROH show and he'll wrestle somewhere for somebody within 5 to 10 years or 3 years. He'll wrestle somewhere for somebody in one match. If it's not for WWE, doesn't matter. He'll still wrestle one match. Trust me. 3 to 5 years, he'll come back and he'll wrestle one match for some company somewhere in the United States or in Japan. Shoot an interview with Lex Luger. This is a crazy one. Talks about Elizabeth's death. Miss Elizabeth died in his house. She was on prescription pills and she's drinking, and he was fucked up also when he was dating her. He was all drugged up on pills and steroids and whatever else he was doing. He was on a lot of prescription pills. He had a problem. I'm sure Miss Elizabeth had a problem. God rest her soul. I miss her. She was great. She was really good. Luger, I don't miss him. If he doesn't ever get in the WWE Hall of Fame, that won't upset me, and I won't care. Shoot an interview with Lacey Von Erich, the daughter of Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado. She's smoking hot, but she should never ever again step in the ring and try to wrestle, because she could not wrestle. Shoot an interview with Karina Lee, whatever her name is. I'm a big fan of hers. She was Winter in TNA. She was Katie Lee Burchill in the WWE. She's smoking. She's sexy, and I'm a big fan of her work in the ring. She's great. Shoot an interview with Alicia from WSU. She's great. Shoot an interview with the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, one of the top 5, the top 10 managers of all time. He's great. Shoot an interview with Sabu. This guy was great. ECW. Watch his matches. Before ECW, when he was in Japan, he took insane amounts of punishment. He had scars all over his body before he appeared in ECW. He wrestled in barbed wire matches, probably more than any wrestler on this planet. he took an insane amount of punishment to his own body. He put his own body through insane pain and punishment. I don't know if he did it for the fans or if he did it for himself to want to be known as one of the most hardcore, extreme, fucking toughest guys in the business. But Sabu is one of the toughest son of a bitches I've ever seen in the ring. Him and Mick Foley are the most toughest. Insane, have taken some of the most insane bumps. Sabu sliced his bicep open in a barbed wire match in '97 with Terry Funk, had 100 stitches, and he crazy glued it closed, folks. Sabu, I respect the hell out of him. He's a future Hall of Famer. He should get in next year. Mick Foley and Sabu, I totally respect them and love those guys. Shoot interview. Too Cold Scorpio. Great high flyer in WCW. In the early 90s, he was great. Shoot interview with the Sandman from 2007. Talks about WWE's ECW One Night Stand pay-per-views from 05 and 06. Talks about Paul Heyman not having 100% control of ECW because Vince McMahon wouldn't give him total control and he fucked up the new ECW. Bobby Lashley became champion. ECW was shit within the WWE. After One Night Stand 06, ECW went down. Became awful and it sucked. All because Paul Heyman was not able to run ECW his way. Because of Vince. Vince's ego got in the way. Get your ego out of the fucking room when Paul Heyman is running things. Paul Heyman is a genius. Yes, I drank the Kool-Aid. Yes, I think Paul Heyman is a genius. Listen to his promos. Last year, listen to his promos this year. Suplex, suplex, suplex. Repeat, suplex, repeat, suplex, repeat, suplex, repeat. That interview and that promo on Raw was epic. Paul Heyman is a genius. Vince McMahon let his ego get in the way and should have let Paul Heyman run ECW in 06, 07, 08, 09. ECW under Paul Heyman could have been as big as NXT is today if Vince would have let Paul run it his way, not got involved. NXT is huge, and it's super over, and it's great television. They put on great 2-hour live shows, all because Triple H is in control. I really believe he's in control of NXT, and Vince does not get involved. And he's smart. Vince is smart to not get involved in NXT, because NXT is a money train. They sold out over 5,000 people in San Jose, California, 2 days before WrestleMania. NXT's huge. NXT is exploding. And the network will explode with NXT, because NXT is the #1 show on the network. NXT's a reason you should all order the network. If you don't already have it, NXT's great. I'm a huge NXT fan. I love what they're doing there. I love the NXT divas. I love Sami Zayn. Love Kevin Owens. Finn Balor is great. His entrance is epic. Oh, Tommy was great. Hell of a talent. A lot of that. I mean, Enzo Amore, Big Cash, they are great. Their entrance, their promos, all their freaking sayings, catchphrases they got are great. How you doing? That's great. That's great. NXT, not ROH, not NXT. ROH shoot interview with Mick Foley. Talks a lot in here. It's 2 discs. Talks a lot about Ric Flair bashing him in his Ric Flair's book. Said Mick Foley's not nothing but a stunt man that knew how to fall off ladders, and that's not wrestling. This is from 2004. Mick Foley talks a lot about behind the scenes stuff in WWE leading up to WrestleMania 20 and his great match with Randy Orton at Backlash 04, where Randy fell on top of a lot of thumbtacks. That was a great match him and Mick Foley had. Mick Foley's super entertaining. Any interview I've seen him in, and that's a very entertaining shoot interview put out by ROH. ROH shoot interview, the legendary one-man gang. Great big man. I like him. He should be a Hall of Famer someday also. Up next, some of my favorite DVDs from Shimmer, Women Athletes. First one, Shimmer, Volume 2. 2006, this happened, I believe. Sarah Del Rey is on it. She's great. I believe she's still the trainer for the NXT Divas and trains the NXT Divas. She's great. Hell of a wrestler. Beth Phoenix is on this DVD. Who else? Amber O'Neil, Cheerleader Melissa, Nikki Rocks, Daisy Hayes, she's great. Mercedes Martinez, she's great. Lacey was awesome. She's out of the business, I believe, but Lacey was great. Mischief versus Beth on here. Mischief is great. I believe Mischief still wrestles. I could be wrong. I know she wrestled in ROH a year ago, or early this year. Mischief, or late last year, she wrestled for ROH. Not sure if she still does. Volume 5 of Shimmer, Women Athletes. Awesome Kong is on here. Winter, right there. Kaylee Burchill's on here. Right there. You know who that is? Becky Lynch. Right there. Back then she's Rebecca Knox versus Daisy Hayes. Becky Lynch is on here. Awesome Kong. Sarah Del Rey versus Mercedes Martinez. No time limit rematch. Hell of a match. Great DVD. I'm a big fan of Shimmer. I'm a big fan, big supporter of women's wrestling. Shimmer, Volume 7. Great DVD. Cheerleader Melissa versus Daisy Hayes is on here. Lacey versus Nikki Rocks. Natty Neidhart. Natalia. Right there. Natalia is on this DVD. I believe it was done in 06. It was taped. Natalia versus Sarah Del Rey. I'm sure it's a great match. I'm going to rewatch it very soon. It's a great DVD. Volume 7 of Shimmer. Here's Volume 12. Shimmer Title Tournament Part 1. Day 1 of the Shimmer Title Tournament to crown a new Shimmer Women's Champ. It's great. A lot of great talent on this DVD. Sarah Del Rey, Cheerleader Melissa, Portia Perez is great. Rain, Sarah Stock is on here. She was in TNA as Selena, I don't remember her name. Sarah Stock is on here. She was great. And she's still great. She's still wrestling. Shimmer Volume 12, the title tournament, Part 2, Day 2 of the title tournament to crown a new Shimmer World Champion. Sara Del Rey's in here. Daphne, Mischief, it's Daisy Hayes, Allison Danger, Lacey. A lot of great talent. Shimmer Volume 16, main event, Sara Del Rey versus Sarah Stock. Great match. Hell of a DVD. A lot of great matches on that Shimmer Volume 16. Now, my last 5 DVDs. These are all my favorites I own. Best of Cactus Jack in ECW. This is an ECW release from 2001. They released it. It's great. It's 4 hours of Cactus Jack in ECW from late 94 to 95 to 96. A lot of great moments and memories are in there. Rise and Fall of ECW DVD. This is great. Hell of a documentary. Paul Heyman's on here talking, swearing. That's great. It's TVMA DVD. Right there it says it. TVMA. A lot of great stories in here about the rise and fall of ECW. Released 11 years ago in 2004 of November. It's still one of my favorite DVDs to watch. Recently, Macho Man Randy Savage DVD. 3 discs. It's a story. There's Elizabeth. My God. Elizabeth and Randy. They're both gone. What a shame. What a damn shame. I miss both of them. I really miss Macho Man. It would have been great if Macho Man was still alive. It would have been great and epic and entertaining and fun and touching to see him return to the Hall of Fame and speak for himself. Macho Man's induction speech would have been epic. And it's a damn shame. And it's really depressing and sad to think Macho Man Randy Savage is no longer living on this earth. I miss the guy. I love the guy. I grew up with the guy. He's part of my childhood. If you don't have this DVD, Macho Man Randy Savage story, it's on the WWE Network. Released the entire story of his DVD on the network. If you don't own the DVD, watch the documentary on the WWE Network. It's great. A lot of great comments on the DVD from his brother Lanny Poffo and his mother, and DDP and Jake the Snake and Ricky Steamboat. All great legends that had great matches with the Macho Man. Last DVD, second to last, Hawk Still Rules DVD. It's released in 2002. It's 2 discs. It's a little documentary, probably 45 minutes to an hour. Documentary on Hollywood Hulk Hogan. And a lot of great stories he tells in here about his feuds with King Kong Bundy, Andre, Roddy Piper, The Rock. It's a great DVD. It's old, 13 years old, I believe, 13 years old, but it's still great. Last one, Cyber Slam 99 from ECW Home Video. It's a flat box because it used to be VHS, and I recorded the VHS onto a DVD, and I own Cyber Slam 99. Is on DVD now. That's why this box is tiny and small. Cut the top off because this used to be VHS. I recorded the VHS onto a DVD, and now I have it on DVD. I hope everybody out there that watched this is doing well and good and has a great weekend. And I will be on Twitter on Saturday tweeting my Bucks play the Bulls in the first round of the playoffs. And I don't think the Bucks will even get it to 5 or 6 games. I think the Bucks are gonna lose this series. I don't want them to, but I believe the Bucks are gonna lose this series, and the Bulls are gonna go on. It doesn't matter if the Bulls go on because nobody's gonna beat the Cavaliers anyway. The Cavaliers are too good. LeBron's on fire. His team's on fire. He's one of the best ever. He's not Michael Jordan. Jordan's the best. But LeBron is damn good. So I'll be on Twitter tomorrow night, evening, tweeting about the Bucks versus the Bulls in the first round of the 2015 NBA playoffs. And Sunday, not jack shit is going on sports-wise on television except baseball, which I don't even want to talk about my Brewers because they're 2-8. They've won 2 games and they've lost 8, and they're playing like shit, and I'm pissed off and I'm angry about it. But it's still April, and if they're playing like shit and they have a god-awful record in July, the season's over. So wake up, Brewers, and do something. They're 2-8. That's pathetic. Anyways, I hope everybody has a great weekend. Follow me on Twitter at TNAWWGuy and at NXTWWGuy. Bye for now, peeps.